John Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, who's been around since the Biggie days, claims there's an FBI connection involving Shannon Sharpe, Diddy, and the feds. He explains that Diddy was, and still is, an informant for the feds, and now Shannon Sharpe has taken that role. Let's dive into the details of how Diddy got immunity related to Tupac's murder.
I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were saying the feds are so deep and involved in this that Diddy just might be called up on that Tupac shit once they go through the money trail. Once they go through the money trail and find out why certain people was given certain positions, that it may be a problem. Because they're gonna look at all that. Anything they can bring up, they're gonna bring it up.
Wow. So you think it's possible that they might pit Pac murder on Diddy?
Yeah. That's why that tape of Cassie was released. So anybody who was willing to try to help him, anybody was trying to say that he ain't capable of doing this and he ain't capable of doing that, they got it right there on videotape.
But you being around at that time, right? Because you was working at Bad Boy at that time when, the whole Pocket Big thing was going on. You personally, do you think they can get Diddy on Pac murder?
Well, they always said something about $1 million check, and nobody knew where the $1 million came from. Puff may have said it in a couple of rap songs and things like that. But they would have to trace the check back to if that check Eric Von Zip had. And I'm not going to say the person who they said they gave it to because I've said it before, and I told people who contacted me that I would bring old boy name up on there because of situations that he's having in the federal government right now. So if they trace it back to Eric Von Zip and say, why were you on, and he's dead now, but they have to explain why did he was able to get some publishing money or some kind of deal off the sale of Black Ground Records, and they put him as Tank manager or Tank something for Tank, this, that, and the third. Why did they do that?
Yeah, I got you. And when you say check, right, just to get some clarity for the people that don't know what you're talking about, you talking about the $1 million check, right, that they put on Tupac to get him killed, the hit?
Yeah, what I'm talking about is that if Puff has said on a couple of records that he'll pay $1 million to, but he was just talking to people randomly. So now everybody said that, and Keefy D said that Puff told them that he'll give them $1 million. Now, do we believe that? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't. Because it was situations whereas that it could have got done by certain people that was around them, but it didn't happen. So when Zip came up with the check for $1 million, he said it was from Black Ground Records. And he said that who he got that money from. So now, if that's true, then the feds would have to go in and do a money trace on where did that check come from. And then they're going to say, why? Why was that check given to Eric Von Zip or Eric Zip Martin or Eric Martin? Why did that check was given to him? And saying that he had something to do with Tank. And he sold the company, which wasn't all his company anyway.
I can see how the police might overlook Diddy's crimes to go after bigger targets in the game. Diddy's role as an informant isn't new. It's like father, like son, if you know the story.
Tupac, when he passed away, I was so curious. I said, what happened to this guy? Who was behind it? You know, the whole thing with the fight, you know, he's at your fight. He's going to get to the fight. I think you guys were supposed to spend some time together. And then I interviewed Greg Kading. And if you know who Greg Kading is, Greg Kading, are you familiar with Greg Kading?
No.
Greg Kading, if you can pull up his Wikipedia, Greg Kading is the guy that... he's the guy that was doing the investigation on Tupac.
Yeah, I remember it.
Okay, so
they had a little television show about this.
Yes, you're right, absolutely. And he was known as the multi-law enforcement task force that investigated the murders of rap stars Tupac and Biggie. That's the Wikipedia story about him, right? So I said, so who was really behind this? So in the video, when I interview him, you know how somebody's trying to arrest him? Like if you've seen the movie American Gangster and they got these pictures. Is this the guy at the top? Is this the guy? So I have 50 different pictures with magnets, and he's putting these things up on. If you go to the video, you'll see how I set it up. Put Greg Kading by David. And I said, who is really the guy behind it? He says, well, we first thought it was this. Then we first thought it was that. And we first thought it was this. And everything's going. Then at the end, the conclusion, after multiple conversations with him and different people, it came down to Biggie. And to me, there's so many right there. If you can just zoom in, that's the way we had it. So we're kind of going back and forth to see who was behind the guys that killed Biggie, Tupac, Easy. I'm a hip hop guy. I grew up to all this stuff with NWA. This is my, like, you know, Straight Outta Compton was a movie I watched God knows how many times because I listened to all of that stuff. I'm an LA kid. So why is it that so many people in music and Hollywood fear this guy, Diddy, as if he's untouchable, and even the
Sugar Diddy,
not Diddy, not Sugar.
You said Biggie, but you meant.
I'm sorry, I meant to say Diddy, not Biggie.
Well,
Diddy.
if you punch in on the picture here, you see Diddy, you see Suge Knight, and then a lot of their cohorts down there, but Tupac and Biggie at the top, as you were, Pat.
Yeah. So what is it? I mean, everybody's in there. So what is it with Diddy that so many? T.I. called him out. 50 Cent said one time on Charlamagne God's podcast, you know, Breakfast he says one time Diddy said, hey, let me go buy you some clothes, let me take you shopping. He's like, well, you want to take me shopping? What are you talking about? So T.I. called him out, 50 called him out, but some people are afraid. What do you know about, because some people are talking about there's Diddy involvement with Jamie and something happened because he was calling him out for some of the parties he was putting up. Is there anything you have opinions on Diddy? Have you had any experiences with Diddy?
No, just I knew him for a long time.
Got it. And with you, he was chill. He was good. He was
awesome guy.
Yeah.
I knew him before he was Diddy. And I knew him for a long time. When I first became champ, I knew him. I remember him. He used to have crates when he used to have my after parties and stuff. Also when they were throwing parties. I remember
This
him.
is when he was the CEO founder of Bad Boy.
No, I don't think he was Bad Boy yet. No, he wasn't him. Damon Dash and all those guys. They weren't on yet. I was like the first street guy that really got on. You know, I'm talking about the guy doing crime in the streets that became a television guy, and everyone knew he was a celebrity, had fancy cars. I was the first.
This is all in Brooklyn.
I'm the first of our generation of that crew. You know, the street hustlers that really blew up like that.
And you guys all knew each other.
Yeah,
it's the same era.
Listen, this young lady that works for my company, and she started saying names to people I remember when I was 11, 12 years old. And it baffles me that you think you got away from these people. You'll never see them again. You knew them when you were at the worst of your level or heard about them. And you're not the only one God had his hands on. These guys made them successful too. And just to know them and see them at this level of the game is just mind-boggling. I mean, it's really... you're almost like proud in a way when you see them, you know what they experienced in life, and now they became respectable citizens.
I guess it's how you're in a class of 82 or a class of 90, whatever, you're all coming up, you kind of seen who made it from your class. I guess that's how to see it when you're coming up from the streets.
Yes.
At the same era. Who else were the guys that during that time that made it big out of all of you?
Listen, there were some rappers that people didn't know about that made it real big, and not just from rapping, but from writing. And it's just, listen, I come from Brownsville, Brooklyn, very competitive. You know, normally either you succeed, probably 60% of the people don't have their high school diploma. It might be more, but it's just a school. It's just a neighborhood for people that normally fail. Just a failing. If you don't have sports, you're not a lawyer or whatever. Yes, you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna do well. You know, and it's very competitive, very dog eat dog. People who are your friends at one time, next thing you know, they turned on you. Come over to the house, I need to do something for me, man. Or they go over your house and they kill you and rob your house for your drugs and stuff. But these are people you was in a sandbox with. When the drug game,
Michael Francis is nodding over here because he knows this.
When the
well.
drug game started in the early 80s, you know, when that started, the people that you were robbing with, your friends with and everything, next thing you know, you got different gangs and you're shooting. All these gangs, we all grew up together. All the people in his gang, all the people in the gang over here, some of them are related, and now they're killing each other. We were all friends. We grew up together. We used to rob and steal together, go to shopping together with the robbing money, smoke our weed, drinking together when we were kids. And next thing you know, I went over to my house after I'm doing good in this boxing stuff. Wasn't champion, but almost. I was making money. So somebody gets shot, I go to the hospital to see him, and then somebody else got killed. So I go to the funeral to see him, but the guy that went to the hospital is the guy that killed my friend I'm going to the funeral for. Yeah, I'm sure you understand. I'm at my friend's, I'm crying that my friend is in the hospital, he's shot. And next thing you know, I'm going to my friend's funeral, but he shot my friend. It's crazy, right? It's really crazy, yeah.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch...
We're not sure if Diddy ordered the hit, but we do know he was aware it was going to happen.
At Quad Studio and Jimmy Henchman allegedly being involved in all that.
When I spoke about it way back when, nobody never even paid me no attention about it. The fact that Big and them didn't know Puff was in Quad Studio. You understand? The fact that Puff and Jimmy Henchman been going back way back when Puff first got out in the business, when Jimmy first got in the business. That Andre Harrell was also up there too. When I spoke about the fact that Puff was in there to spy on Big and them, and Tupac was coming up there, and he's in the office with Jimmy Henchman and Andre Harrell, nobody believed me at the time. For Puff to know that, and know that Big and Tupac was friends, that was some shiesty shit. But I've seen Puff operate that like that before, against people, around people. So it didn't surprise me at all that Jimmy Henchman probably told him, yo, I'm about to teach this nigga Pac a lesson for saying crazy shit and talking shit to me. Because it wasn't supposed to be a shooting. It was only supposed to be a robbery. But you never know what happened when people carry guns.
Yeah, sheesh. Eesh. All right. Yeah.
That's us, right?
Pretty traumatic, man. Yeah, man, can I get your take on the G-Dep thing real quick?
G-Dep, I'll give you G-Dep. G-Dep.
Did you know G-Dep?
I knew G-Dep. I knew of G-Dep, let me put that. I seen him in the office. I seen him do his thing. You understand? That was Black Rob protege. G-Dep was a hell of a writer. He would have been a great artist.
He was just released from prison after doing 13 years for a 1993 murder. He walked into the police station and confessed to shooting someone, and that's when he found out that he actually killed him.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. He just got released.
He had changed his life. He had gave his life to God. And that was a part of his repentance and cleansing himself by letting the police know that he had committed that crime. But he had did everything that he was supposed to do, you know, and converting himself into a model citizen, and that he's out here now. And I wish the best for him, because he did make some great songs.
Yes, he did. G-Dep was definitely on fire, man. That was
Actually, those kids in the video, the kids in his video, that one with him, Black Rob and Puff, won the dance contest at my block party, at our block party, Slick and the Family block party. The little boy, Justin, and the girl named Karima. They won my block party, our block party, Slick and the Family, and that's how they got in that video, at G'd Up video. The other two kids came from the Rucker. They used to dance at halftime at the Rucker.
Well, that's what's up. Oh, yeah.
All right, Cam?
Dope, man. All right, Gene, I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you
Dope
too,
content.
Cam. I'm here. All right?
All right, bro, for sure.
Salute.
Diddy didn't actually have a beef with Tupac. He was obsessed with him. It's kind of weird when you really think about their so-called rivalry.
That Puff took Tupac blueprint and changed Biggs and Bad Boy in image. I Get Around. I Get Around talked about how fly you was, how many girls you mess with, how many cars you drive, how much money you got, what you willing to do. He took his image. Pac was the first one on the scene wearing Versace shirts. He went and got the same Versace shirts Pac had. Which, all right, some dudes would do that. You would never catch me wearing something else, something that somebody else got. He was knocking down all the women that he thought Pac was knocking down. And what I mean is having sex with. Why would you want to have sex with women you know for sure a dude that was once cool with you was dealing with? That's that image. Because you got to realize, bruh, Puff and Pac was cool at one time. We know this. Mopreem said that they was going to sign the Bad Boy. So if he's going to sign to Bad Boy, it was because of Corey and them. I put that picture on the internet. I put the picture on my channel of Corey Jones. Was Corey Jones, Corey Jacobs? I think Corey Jacobs and Pac right next to each other. Those was the real bad boys of Bad Boy. You understand? Those are the ones who got the 16 to life sentences. That Pac was gonna go and be with them first. But then Mopreem said when it became just Big and Puff, because Corey and them went to jail, he changed his direction. But nobody know why Pac and Puff fell out like they did. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody know why. But Puff had an obsession with him for whatever reason it was, because he started wanting to act. He started wanting to rap. He had an obsession so bad that at his Grammy Award winning speech, he used the same speech that Pac used. That shit is crazy. So when I say I'm obsessed with talking about Puff and telling y'all the truth, who's obsessed with who? Pac had Sarah before Puff. Allegedly he had Sally before Puff. And Kim had an obsession or liked Pac so much, she on the red carpet with Tupac's shirt on. Who's obsessed with who?
So you believe Diddy, he only got with Sarah Chapman because Pac, he had her at one point.
And it was a bet in the office. Sarah was messing with an NBA basketball player. Puff bet all the niggas didn't believe that he could get it within 2 weeks. $100. So she actually was $100 bet that he got.
And who was the NBA player?
I think it was Gary Payton, allegedly. That's what he said. Somebody said, "She messed with Gary Payton? I bet you I get it. I bet you I have it within 2 weeks." Me and him and Sarah went to this party in Chicago that he was hosting with the Streets Entertainment. And we went to the store called Cranberry and I forgot Cranberry, and it's one of those stores like you get fragrance and you get candles, colognes and stuff like that. It's called Cranberry and something. And from that point on, yeah. But you gotta realize Misa and Kim was friends. Misa and Kim was friends. He started dealing with Kim over Misa. Kim and Sarah was friends. I mean, hand to hand, pots and pans. They was close. They all used to, Sarah, Kim, and this other girl, I think she was from Atlanta. What's her name? It missed me right now. But they all used to hang together. So then he went from Kim to Sarah.
There were several incidents where Tupac and Diddy almost ended up in armed confrontations.
Why do you think he didn't take it serious when you said that somebody was coming that night to get y'all?
Ego. He's showing off. You gotta realize, in the same entourage, it's this girl Kim, Sally Richardson, a few other joints. So now, maybe he wanted to show off. I don't know. But to take something serious like that, when I don't come to Puff like that, you understand what I'm saying? Every time I told Puff something was about to happen, it happened. You understand? We had a party with ODB now. And at Luke's club, yo Puff, they about to start shooting up in this joint. How you know, Gene? Bruh, I know.
In your opinion, man, do you think Biggie would still be alive if Puffy would have listened to you?
I think, in my opinion, Big wouldn't have got killed that night. To say if he was still being alive, I don't know that. I don't have a time clock on somebody's life. And we know, nobody knows. God, it comes to death comes like a thief in the night, man. We don't know what's going on and when it's gonna happen. But I truly believe that if Big would have stayed to his guns and not F with Puff like he was doing at first, not coming to none of the parties we was at. Did you hear what Lil C said? We wasn't even messing with Puff. We was doing our own thing. If they would have stayed with doing their own thing, maybe we still alive. Cause Big was a big star. Show me one picture out of LA, since they was going to all kind of clubs and all kind of spots and all kind of restaurants, that somebody got him with him. Did somebody got those pictures with him? Have you seen any? Only place you seen them was at Sway, the radio stations, right? The video shoot. Where all the other places with all the other pictures? That one time in the mall. But they was out there 2 months, going to all the stations and everything. See, I think that what we're looking at is this, is that two men with two great egos that got all the money in the world. Now see, Suge had the blueprint of losing the artist. Do you know how much money Death Row Law made when Pac died? I think that record, the album went like 10 times platinum, right?
Yeah, that All Eyes on Me sold over 10 million and went diamond. And Machiavelli, I think that went like 4 times platinum. And his greatest hits, I think that sold over 10 million and went diamond. I mean, every Tupac album that came out after he died went platinum.
So now you got your main artist leaving you that you think that's robbed you, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to realize that
Biggie was just caught up with Diddy. Don't get me wrong, Biggie was a street thug. But Diddy wasn't the man he pretended to be. He sacrificed Biggie like a pawn.
Was changing the name on his publishing. He wasn't putting Christopher Wallace or whatever he was on the product. He was using somebody else's name. Probably his daughter or something like that. The same shit that Puff did with the Locks. You know what I mean? He was changing the name. So now Puff, when that little $200,000 he gave him extra for that publishing, he not even getting that money now because Big then changed the name on it. What did say that Lil C say when, and you gotta listen to what people say. He said, we didn't even know Puff was in Quad Studio. So why was Puff in Quad Studio? Right? He knew Junior Mafia was having a session over there. And if Big is writing for them, I'm entitled to that publishing money.
So Puffy knew Tupac was going to get robbed at Quad Studios?
Well, I don't think I'm not going to say he knew exactly he was going to get robbed, but he knew he was going to get dealt with. Because he was up there with Andre Harrell and he was with Jimmy Henchman. And even though I think Pac may have owed Jimmy some money or he was being disrespectful with Jimmy, and Jimmy ain't the type of dude that you was going to be disrespectful for him because he had some real wolves. And Jimmy was about it himself. You know what I mean? So now, in that essence, Puff is up there in the office with him. They know they about to deal with Pac. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the extent that Jimmy told him what they was gonna do to Pac, or he's gonna get dealt with or whatever like that. But I know Puff had a whip to what was going on. You understand? But his main reason to be there was to probably spy on Big them in their session with Junior Mafia. Cause you gotta realize, if you know whenever Big had a hit, who else had a hit? Junior Mafia.
Right.
How did they get that hit? Big wrote it. So if Big is writing hits for somebody else, who is entitled to that publishing? Puff is, because he owned it. That's what the fight in the studio that night was. The same night they was talking about Snoop. Charlie Baltimore was there because they was finna do a skit for Puff's album. That same night. When they had the argument about who wrote Lil' Kim shit. When I was telling D-Rock, somebody gonna come kill us, man. They coming to get us. I got a call from Unique, from Mecca Audio. I spoke to Jody Cinnamon and them about this shit. Bro, it's gonna go down. If they would have stayed with their plan, like Little C said, we was doing our own thing. He comes out with Puff how many nights? He comes out with Puff how many nights? He came out Puff one night. And what happened? He don't go back home to his kids. And it's not that I'm hating on him, like people, you know how you young cat, yo, he hating, he doing like, man, listen, I'm just telling the truth. And if you got a problem with me telling the truth, then you got a problem. It's two sides and then it's the middle. You figure out whose story sounds the best, whose story sounds right. You know, do you see Notorious Big missing his plane, the same plane Lil C said he was never going on, missing his plane and begging Puff to go to a party with him? Puff said he begged him to go to the party with him. The party that he got murdered in. The only party that he went to with Puff. You gotta look at what's real.
There was an incident between Diddy and Tupac where Diddy ran off, leaving Biggie behind. Biggie should have known how Diddy behaves when things get tough.
One outside the award show and one inside the award show. I think the one outside the award show, Tupac and Suge, they pulled up in a red Hummer and Tupac got out and he started yelling at Biggie. And you said somebody named C Gutter pulled out a gun on Tupac. And I think the one inside the award show, you said that y'all seen Tupac and Suge, and when you look to the side of you, Puffy disappeared. And I did an interview with Napoleon, and he told me that Tupac told him that when Puffy seen him, he ran. And I think Napoleon told me that Puffy ran inside a tour bus. That's what Tupac told him. So from your point of view, man, what happened?
Well, you're talking about the 96 Soul Train and the 97 Soul Train. The 96 Soul Train Awards, right? One of the officers, and I'm just gonna call him Bun, he was at the 96 Soul Train Awards with me, and he was right next to Big. And this is based on his accounts, right? Now this guy is a decorated, he's a decorated officer, he's been an officer for over 30-some years, and if I'm gonna believe somebody, I'm gonna believe what he tells me. You understand? And I've been knowing him since '86. So now, he tells me, cause we're riding back in the limousine with Puff now, cause Big and them left him out there. He told me, as far as Pac came over there talking about West Side and all this other shit like that. And a woman walked past Big. And when this woman walked past Big, she said, "Oh, now Tupac is here." He said, "Ma, I ain't scared. I ain't scared of him." You understand? And he said, Pac started saying, "Now what, you fat motherfucker," like that. And Big started saying, what, you know what I'm saying, went back and forth like that. Now, Suge Knight and them, they coming towards. And he said, for no reason, but you know, you don't know what Suge Knight gonna do, you don't know what, but C Gutter pulls out the gun. When C Gutter pulled out the gun, the Nation of Islam got in the middle of it, and they stopped all the bullshit. I don't know if Suge seen the gun or not. I don't know. But even C Gutter, when he got out of jail, he went on another platform and he said, "Yeah, I pulled the gun out on Suge."
That's the biggest flex I've ever heard.
He said it himself. You understand? There were stories that going around saying Keefy D did it. Keefy D wasn't even with us at the time. So now, me and Puff heard the altercation over the radio. Right? We hear the altercation over the radio. We running towards that direction. When we get close to the corridor, but prior to that, we had an altercation with some guys from the Nation of Islam. And if it wasn't for Mustafa, Farrakhan's son, it would have been an issue. You understand? He got into the brother's face and had to tell him like 2 or 3 times to back up. And then next thing you know, all the Nation of Islam started running over there to where we was at. Cause that's Farrakhan's son, and he runs the shit. So now, we leave going down the corridor. And so then, I could see Suge and them, right? So they coming at the top of the stairs, right? They coming to the top of the stairs, so they trying to gather their whole crew up and make sure they good. Puff is on my left side of me. He's on the left side of me. So I said, "Yo, my man, just take care of my family." Just like that.
I got these niggas, just like the real talk. And I put both of my hands in my jacket like this. And when we got to the end of the corridor where the embankment goes down, where you see the TV medias and stuff like that, and the trucks with the media and everything like that. And Suge is right there about 15, 20 yards, something like that. You know, from the end of the steps, they start walking towards this way, and we at the beginning of the corridor where you can see the big entrance. Puff jumps down the embankment right there and start running behind the media. So I just put my back against the wall, and they just walked by. Didn't say nothing like that. Cause I wasn't gonna say nothing until they walked past me. So when they walked past me, I was like, yo, where you going? Where you going? And I just seen them running, you know, through the trucks and jumping in between the media vans and stuff like that, and the media trucks. So he seen the limousine. I didn't go that way, I just went straight out. I seen the limousine out there. He ran and he jumped in the limousine. So he started calling, me and Bun came, we got in the limousine with him, and we went back to the house. You know what I'm saying? And when we went back to the house, that's when he had said that shit about Big, Pac, and all that other shit. He was trying to call Big on the phone, talking about what happened. And Big kept hanging up the phone on him.
So that's what it is then. Do you think that's what Tupac is referring to when he told Napoleon that Puffy ran on the tour bus when he seen him?
They couldn't have seen it, bro. They couldn't have seen it because they was already in. They just going by accounts that somebody told them. You understand what I'm saying? But anybody who was with Pac and Suge them, unless they was left in the car, you know how you leave your driver, people in the car, you wouldn't have known that Puff ran unless you was somebody with the drivers or you with their cars and seen him ran and get in the limousine. All that shit that he ran up under the cars and truck. Now he ran through the corridors and he ran through the cars. He ran through all that shit like that.
Yeah, man. When I did that interview with Napoleon, man, that's what he told me, man. He said that Tupac told him that Puffy ran, and you said that Puffy ran inside a car. So at some point, Tupac had to see Puffy run into a vehicle at some point, right?
Yeah, he ran. If you've been to those engagements, you know the news medias have all their vans lined up. The media vans. You understand? So if he had to duck up under something to get there or whatever like that, he did it. He was trying to get, and you know they had their shit closed off. So he probably had to duck up under one of those things to get there because they don't have it where you could just walk through there, because if you walk through there, you can get in the place free. So he had to duck up under something to get to the parking lot.
And I heard they wouldn't even let Tupac get his award because Tupac, he won the award for Me Against the World that day, but they wouldn't let him go on stage.
That's
and
not
get
true.
the award, right?
Tupac was on stage. In '96, he was on stage.
I agree that Keef D is being set up.
Look at it. They didn't show it. They didn't show it, but he was on stage to get that award. He had the army jacket on and all that shit. Pac was on stage, bro. They didn't show it.
And Biggie, he performed at that award show, right?
Big performed. He performed in my shoes. Those shoes he had on, they put that shit in the Notorious movie. That shit never went down like that. I was laughing at them niggas. They was begging me. The dudes from 5001 was begging me. You know what I'm saying? Because Puff told them they wasn't gonna get paid for shit. If Big because Big wanted to go out there in his Timbs. He said, I'm gonna do this shit Brooklyn style. He wanted to go out there in his Timbs. And Puff said, if he go out there in them Timbs, I ain't paying y'all shit. Them niggas promised me that they was gonna give me, make a suit for me. Make a suit for me because they had took over from what Miguel was doing. So they had the industry on lock doing clothes and stuff for him. And because I knew my man Guy, and Guy used to be one of the financiers of Same Gang, because whenever, my man D would ask him for something, Guy would piece him off some money. So I let him use them. And when I came back, that's when Big was, He had stepped on the back of my shoes and shit like that, and I cussed his ass out. But he performed. He performed out there.
Did you see that TV series Unsolved, man? Because in that series, man, they portrayed it like Keefe D is the one that pulled out the gun on Tupac and Suge outside the Social Wars, not C. Gutter.
They got a lot of shit wrong in that movie. They got a lot of shit wrong in murder rap. Those were people who came along 10 years later listening to crooked cops and people who didn't know what the hell they was talking about. And now you find people coming out and saying, well, that didn't happen. Well, it happened like this. Keefe D said he wasn't even there. C. Gutter come out and say, yo, that was me who did it. A convicted felon. He come out and say, I'm the one who did that. So they got a lot of shit wrong. Just like they got the wrong that the car pulled up beside Bignan when it was car planted there the whole night.
You and Greg Caden, man, what's the issue between you and Greg Caden? Because I always see y'all both going back and forth, man.
I don't have a beef with him. Greg Caden on my level to beef with him. I was a witness to a crime. He's somebody who came along 10 years later and took things that he found, took official documents. He didn't go through the freedom of information or nothing like that, that's where I know of. Took official documents, wrote a book about a culture he don't respect, that he knows nothing about, and he painted pictures and lied. He painted pictures and lied on people to make $1. Go around the world with this facade that he found Tupac killer and Biggs killer, and here it is, no agency will take the people that he said who committed those crimes to jail. Shit, Bill Cosby had more money than Puff. He went to jail. He tried to say, because Puff make too much money, they don't want to take it to court. Get out of here. Your evidence is a theory that you made up on crooked cops, when in fact, an FBI agent pointed this out clearly. Phil Carson. Because see, this is what they try to do. There were two, when they gave me a 6-pack, they said, so do anybody on this picture look like the person that you saw that night? I said, no. They said, well, if you had to pick somebody in this picture, what would be closest, who would look close, who would look something like him? Other than his complexion, this dude right here. And I'm talking about the high cheekbones that he had and the peanut head. You understand? And then next thing you know, the tape they had taping me illegally. They were taping me illegally. It clicks off. Click. When it clicked off, what happens? They looking stupid, both of the officers. Because now they got to tell me that they taping me, and now they want to change the tape. You understand what I'm saying? When they move the cover back, they got pictures all over the bed and the tape recorder. So my lawyer is discussing with them that New York is not a two-party state. You have to inform an individual that they're going to be on tape. She's going through the legal stuff with them. Eloise Nurse. She's going through the legal stuff with them. You understand? And they was trying to explain to her they're not going to remember everything like that. I'm looking at the pictures on the bed, and I see the picture of the blue suit, but it's in black and white. I see the guy with the suit on, white shirt, bow tie. But I see me and Puff in there too. And I remember this guy walking up, that's the guy who walked up on her. And I looked at the pictures, so I grabbed that picture in a stack of pictures, and I was like, yo, this is the guy right here that Little C said. Why did they have the guy face mushed out in the picture? Now, this is the key. The FBI agent said he saw it himself. he saw the picture himself. When he went back to get the pictures, because he may have had a subpoena or he may have had authorization to get the pictures, the guy said, we never had no picture like that. It may have been Katz or somebody. The Katz is one of the officers. He said, are you sure? He said, yeah, we're sure. We never showed Gene Deal that picture. We never showed Gene Deal a picture like that. He said, are you positive? He said, yeah, we're positive. We never showed Gene Deal that. No picture like that. He said, well, why he put it in his notes? Why did the police officer put it in the notes that he showed Gene Deal, said that this individual right there was the same individual he sees was talking about? Why is it in the notes?